everyone, and welcome to episode 16th of the May Contain Action Podcast. I am Paul. I also go
Why
by...
do you say it like that?
Excuse me, I'm doing
an
the intro.
ongoing thing. Just, let him get there.
Thank you. I'm also known as Action Jackson. It's my alter ego. It's my name. I'm joined, as always, 99% of the time, by the one and only current and former future retired wiffle ball champion.
Yeah.
Trevor May.
Soon to be.
Soon to be.
Yeah. Hasn't happened yet,
Also.
but we're optimistic here on the podcast. Also, it's episode 19. I know that's confusing here in the
It's welcome to episode 19
but we had to
of the May Contain.
But we had to push this several times for, baby stuff. Both times.
Yeah, basically just my children are the reason. And you may be wondering, who's that jolly, joyful giggle in the background? It feels warm, yet familiar, yet also like my father. Because he is all of our daddies. It is Darkness429 is joining us here today.
Timothy!
Welcome, Timothy.
Hey,
Welcome back.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you.
It's the second time you've been on the pod. It was different last time, but you're our first. Jen was our first repeat. You're our second repeat.
Don't say that, please, God.
You're our first.
Never hear the end of it.
You're first.
Jen doesn't count. She hasn't been on the pod yet. Very exciting. Can't wait we should have Jen on the pod. I've just been thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't know how we haven't done that yet.
We should have her on.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll figure it out.
He likes movies,
Thank
right?
gosh.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great. To have you.
So great to have you. Well, this is typically where we go over. We're not doing Obsessed today.
No Obsessed today, though. We
No
have a lot of
Obsessed today.
things. The next time we do it, it'll be a big thing. But yeah, we don't want to take extra time. We'll talk movie. Which
What are we obsessed with, though?
So we do a little bonus show sometimes 20 to 30 minutes at the beginning of the show where we talk about our favorite things that we're the things we're obsessed with right now when it comes to, because I buy gadgets all the time, or new games we're playing, or like a show we started watching. Like, everyone brings something in and we just kind of obsess about it for a little bit, and it's a good time. But we didn't prep for that, and I have a list of like 58 things at this point, so
Okay.
it needs a long episode, and we won't put you through that. And we also didn't prepare you for it. Though I'm sure you could hang. You got stuff you like too.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
I mean, if you want to quickly touch on something cool as a check-in, we can do that. A mini version.
Do a little check-in.
What have you been up to?
Your show. Go for it.
Paul, do you have something? You sound like you have something.
I mean, kind of, but not really. I don't know. Maybe it's controversial. I don't know if I want to
really
bring
excited about it.
If it's controversial, it's content. Talk about it.
That's true. Controversial is content. I just recently, so I don't want to go into like a whole thing, but I have a dog. His name is Obi.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lovely little boy. He is a golden doodle, a mini golden doodle, and he is a joy. So he is also a little dog who is full of energy and is a little shit sometimes, but that's okay because all dogs, in some way, little shits. Like, I found a little bit of throw up on the rug today, and I was like, you know what? I didn't anticipate cleaning that up today, but I'm happy I have a dog.
That wasn't on the list. Add it.
Where I'm going with this. I'm going with this is that I recently actually just started to I was like, I'm going to take his training seriously because it's gotten out of hand. Like, it's not that he's like a poorly trained dog. He's actually very good at recall, sit, stay, all that kind of stuff. He's very good at it. But little things he's kind of like pushed the limit on. He's like, I think I can maybe jump on some people. I think maybe I'll jump, get up on some small kids' shoulders and push them down at the park. Not my favorite thing. So we're going to kind of go through training again. And I got him a collar.
Nice.
And I'm not going to be, I know some people get like a little concerned about like shocking the dog and anything like that. Nothing like that's going to happen. It's just going to be a little beep sound and at worst a vibration. But it's just going to be a little thing I'm excited to kind of like, because I can't always get to him, fast enough. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I got the collar. I'm excited about it. It's the Easy Educator is what it's called. Little gadget. And I'm looking forward to like getting him trained and like getting us both on the same page. So he's happy and knows what to expect, and I'm happy and know what to expect. So that's my thing. That's my check-in.
Yeah. As someone who uses an e-collar on his dog, like, yeah, they're fantastic.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
Good to know I'm not alone.
They just need to know. They need to. Something needs to happen when they do something. It doesn't necessarily have to be painful. It just has to be
Mhm.
like,
Just a little reminder.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
we have our ghost vibrates for our phone. We're like, did we forget our phone? We'll never forget our phone anywhere.
Oh
We're
my
checking our pocket
gosh.
every 3 seconds. It's the same thing. We're just trying to do that to dogs.
Wow. Didn't think of it like that ever, but that's a good point. All right, fair
It's
enough.
kind of the same premise. Yeah, that's kind of the same premise.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds fun. Don't have a dog though. Kate and I spoke about it today. We're like, dog might happen in the next bit too, because we have this big
Ooh.
backyard, and I want to be forced
Nice.
to go on walks a little bit more because I need to walk and go places because I'm fat as shit. Uh, that's neither here nor there. I have a diet I'm going to be doing here in a week or so, but we'll talk about that next pod because
Ooh.
I'm
Oh, but
not prepped to talk. Well,
oh,
I,
okay, fair.
okay, I'll just unveil it. This is what I'm
Yes.
obsessed with. And I'm like, I am not motivated to do a workout program, but I'm dieting's fine, but it's about convenience, right? It's always about
Mhm.
Sure.
convenience, and
Yeah.
I'm like, let's hack into what I need to do here. So let's make this a whole project because, of course, I don't know if you guys noticed, I make lots of YouTube videos now, and so
You
I'm like,
do.
hey, let's
Yeah.
turn this into one of those. So
There you go. Content.
I'm doing I picked a workout program and I picked a diet. I'm doing MegaFit. MegaFit is like it's like for powerlifters. It's literally the most basic food there is. Everything's macros and whatever. And I have
MegaFit.
no problem. I eat like that. I do not care. I did that during when I played. I'm not fancy when it comes to food. Like if you give me chicken breast, rice, and broccoli,
Hell yeah, brother.
I could eat that
Yeah.
all. My wife cannot.
Oh,
She hates that. And as long as it tastes
Oh, yeah.
okay, and doesn't taste disgusting, I can eat for fuel, not eat for fun. I can do that most of the time, even if it's just microwaved. But
Interesting.
the
Okay.
workout I'm doing
yeah.
is Hugh Jackman's workout he did to become Wolverine. So I'm going to be doing that
Oh, okay.
Nice. Okay.
for a month. So I'm going to do a month of that while I'm
Jeez.
eating the. So I'm going to go super strict, and just see what change how my body. Because I'm telling you guys, I weighed in at 265 pounds the other day and almost threw up. I was like, what?
Wow.
That's the
Yeah.
heaviest I've ever been by a lot, by about 15
Mm.
pounds. So I was like, yeah, what I'm seeing is and what I'm feeling is real.
Hey, you're enjoying being retired, bud.
I
You're
did.
really-
I did enjoy that up until now. And
Hey,
but
you found that limit.
now I can use YouTube to do, I haven't I ordered the food's on the way. I'm gonna do this like I got this little measuring thing to measure like I'm just gonna do all the measurements once a week. We're gonna do like a weigh-in like it's MMA.
Nice.
Okay.
And
All right.
and just see what happens. I don't know. And it's gonna be one of those YouTube videos, that you see. And I'm gonna put
I love that. I'm excited to see what.
green screen in
dude.
play,
Oh,
which I got,
yeah.
which you can see in the camera. If anybody is watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. I got this green screen. It has not been put away. I've been using it for everything. So that's probably my fun gadget I've been using. I got the Elgato one, the one that just collapses and then comes back out. Oh,
Yep. That's the best one to get, I think.
It's very
my
convenient.
God. Though the biggest one is 6'6" tall, and I'm 6'5", so I actually have to put it on boxes. So I can stand in front of it. It's the biggest one there is.
That's
Tall guy problems.
Seriously. Jesus.
So yeah, I don't fit out in front of the green screen either. I got to get a big sheet. I think if I want to do anything outside this tiny box or this actually very big box, I just don't fit in it. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Tim,
Damn.
Hey.
what you got going on, man? You always got cool stuff in the background of your camera. You always got cool stuff you're doing. What are you up to?
A lot of magic. I think really like that's the thing I'm obsessed with right now that I've been just really just having a lot of fun with is magic. So the Fallout decks just came out.
Ooh.
And I fell in love with the Wise Mothman. This is very, very fun. So one of my things that I've really come to enjoy doing is building decks. So a lot of it's out of all the bulk that I have here at the house. So yeah, been just tinkering, playing around. We got like St. Jude Play Life coming up, and I know like a lot of people will be playing Magic. Then we got GCX. Like people are like, I'm gonna be playing this deck against you. I'm like, oh crap, I've got to bring my A game. So like I'm already like juicing up some other decks. So I'm excited. It just like that's been my thing. It's just a lot of magic.
I love that.
It's my happy place.
I love how magic has just become like a staple. I mean, it kind of has been, but like for a lot more people, it's like a lot of people play Magic. And
I didn't think that I would be this addicted to like a card game. Like I knew like I collected like Pokemon cards, but like they were fun for me because of the show. And Yu-Gi-Oh cards are the same thing. It was like, oh, it's like I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh, like there's a TV show. So like it played into like the whole like pretend and imagination. But like I never learned how to actually play the actual card games. So
correct.
It feels like I'm catching up on all the years that I missed out on.
You can also
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
that's cool. I kind of feel like
too.
now. Oh yeah,
all the different mechanics of the decks and stuff. It's like different every time.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yes.
And you get to fall in love with certain things, which is really neat. You get to explore and learn like what kind of player am I? Like, what does it say about like me as like a person? It's like it really like because it's like people are like really put themselves in their decks. Like it's kind of crazy like how intertwined that all is.
It's also really cool for me. Also, just starting to play Magic because you guys got me into it.
Yeah,
is like I didn't realize the type of like card type I'm drawn to, or I guess the what would we call like commander style? I guess it's I'm still
style.
very green, but
like overall like mechanics.
Yes. Like big fan of the like control the graveyards, bring back dead things.
Yeah.
I love that style. That's
so
right up my alley.
I'm a big I'm big stompy monster guy. So like that's like,
you are.
That is my thing. So like my dragons, my dinos, my Eldrazi's. Like the Mothman I'm playing out of the graveyard with this guy. So like it's a little different for me. Like I have to actually had to critique myself and like figure out how to play differently. It's wild. It's really cool.
I also learned that those that don't know play against Tim. He's a politicking son of a bitch. So
yeah, because I learned real quick playing with the people that we play with that you have to politic your butt off, or it's not going to end well for you.
I like one time recently, the last time we played together, I was like, chat, should I kill Tim? Like, he's gonna be a little mad. Like, I'm not gonna kill Tim. And so I didn't kill Tim. And then he killed me.
Of course.
Next turn.
When you have the chance, you gotta stab him in the heart, man. Like you just play with Jen, and then at least you won't take last. She just won't attack. She won't attack. She doesn't because also her deck is like also kind of a nuke deck too. So if she attacks, she's gonna hit you so fucking hard. And she doesn't want to hit you so hard.
It's very scary.
She doesn't want to do it.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting to me because it comes in the Lord of the Rings deck, which is the only one I have, but the Shire playing the food deck and just like buffing your little characters. It's obviously very hard and you have to get more lucky, but like if you can stack and you playing against somebody who can't wipe decks very fast, you can just overwhelm them. Like I played a lot of Hearthstone, so like a lot of these strategies are the same. Hearthstone is a much simpler game.
Similar.
But like it's a Murloc deck is what that was. I don't even know if that's a real thing anymore, but that was how you just buffed 1/1 Murlocs them to 10/10s, and you just couldn't get them off the goddamn deck if you didn't have the stuff. So I love the game too. As soon as I
talk about Magic all day.
I could that's the type of stuff I love doing. Like when I played League of Legends, I used to do builds for my characters in weird ways all the time because that was fun still. The game got boring, and then I'd be like, oh, how can I like mix stuff up and use this hybrid item to be good or whatever? And people hated me for that because everyone hates everyone in League of Legends. So that's not the game to do that. I would not recommend just showing up in game. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm playing this character that you know is a support completely differently, and I'm not going to support you. See ya. They don't like that. They don't like it very much. All right, well, that was wow. I now I want to play Magic. Thank you. But let's get people caught up. Let's hop right into this movie, so we don't have to. We still want to keep you all day because we can get talking about movies forever too because we like talking. One thing though, on behalf of Paul and I, we would like to apologize it's taking this long, but we are so excited that you chose Back to the Future. Darkness chose Back to the Future, and we are so excited to watch this movie. But Darkness, I need you to do one thing for us because in the outline here we go through some funny Letterboxd reviews that I don't mean to take all the credit, but I find these. You can you check in. It's like the top 3 loved it, and the top 3 hated it, and just what people are saying about the movie. And usually people are pretty funny, and so we like to give our guests the honor of reading these out loud.
Sure. All right. So, Pat. So, can I say the name of the individual? You want me to just read the review?
Sure. Yeah, you can read the name of it.
Perfect. This is from Patrick Williams. When they all shout shit and then get shit dumped on them, that's cinema. 5 out of 5. Perfect.
People like that one. Very, very.
That's a 5-star review, by the way.
Yeah. So this is from Matt Lynch. So structurally perfect that it may have eventually ruined movies.
4 stars. Confusing.
4 stars.
Confusing, Matt.
This one's from Carrie. She gave it 5 stars. This review may contain spoilers. If Marty McFly was my son, I consider incest too. Jesus.
Yeah. There was a lot of those. That was probably the most tame. And also this review may contain spoilers about me.
Okay. This one's so good. All right, this one's from your mother's GP. It's a half star. Says terrible Rick and Morty spinoff. Morty.
Oh boy, Rick. Oh.
It's about your kid, Morty.
Oh no. Good.
This one's from Denver Skate, half star. This is a good movie if you're a loser who likes bad movies.
And the cursor's there in the old screenshot, like usual.
Cursors in the screenshot.
And this last review from Ben. He gave it a half a star and just goes, ass.
He didn't like it.
He didn't like it.
Didn't like it. So the movie is Back to the Future, directed by Robert Zemeckis and produced. It was produced by Steven Spielberg, very obviously. It made $381 million worldwide, but only cost $19 million. Or for those people at home who need that to be converted into a little bit easier to understand number, that is 19% of an Emperor's New Groove. We have a running joke. Emperor's New Groove was $100 million to make, which baffles us.
That's wild.
But it's a nice round number. So basically,
it is.
So I have to ask: was it $100 million to produce because of the cast? Was it because of the animation style? Was it the technology that made it cost so much? Like, really, what was worth $100 million?
We think it was the animation because that was like one of the last movies they did where they had to draw every.
Well, it was the animation, but they had to redo the entire movie.
Oh yeah, and they had to redo it, so they made the movie twice. Yeah, that's that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They made it like it was like a Mulan style movie, and they had it in front of test audiences. They hated it. It was like a more serious kind of movie.
Wow.
So no, it was like more like a Mulan type movie, but it was the same. Like it was like Inca. Aztec inspired. Yeah.
I wouldn't have liked that.
No.
No.
It needed to be super funny. And dude, Warburton and whatever they crushed it. Like David Spade and Warburton were perfect. So it's like it just worked out. But
wild.
But like $100 million. Can you imagine? It actually won an Oscar. Did not. Oh no. Sorry. Yeah. Back to the Future won an Oscar. Sorry, we're back on Back to the Future. I was like, are we talking about Emperor's New Groove? Won one Oscar for Best Sound Effects Editing, which there's great sound effects.
Solid, yeah.
Best Motion Picture won the Golden Globe. Did not know that, musical or comedy. And then got a couple BAFTA nominations. We got Michael J. Fox and Marty McFly, Christopher Lloyd, the famous Christopher Lloyd, the perfect Dr. Emmett Doc Brown. Leah Thompson's Lorraine, Crispin Glover's George McFly. How he didn't win an Oscar, no one knows. And then Thomas F. Wilson just disappeared off the face of the planet as a Biff. It was so those are the old stats. So when we hop into this, I cannot wait to get your opinion on these things. So the first category that we do every single show, Tim, is to guess Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and the Letterboxd score given to it. I have the numbers here in front of me. If you would like to go first, or we can just, if you want to think about it for a second, give it to Paul. I don't know. You weren't supposed to look these up. Hopefully you didn't.
I haven't looked at them.
Good. So for Rotten Tomatoes, what do you got for Rotten Tomatoes? What do you think?
Jeez. I don't know, man. Maybe like a 7?
So it's out of 100.
7?
Sorry. Rotten Tomatoes out of 100. IMDb's out of 10.
Out of 100.
Yeah,
I thought this was 1 out of 10. So
IMDb
then like,
is.
Okay, so Rotten Tomato is 1 to 100. Yes?
Yes.
100%. 70%.
Okay.
70. Okay. Round.
IMDb's out of 10.
I will give that IMDb. I will give it a 6.
Ooh. Okay.
And then Letterboxd is out of 5. I know this is very.
I don't think I've ever looked at a Letterboxd review. So 2.5.
2.5.
You technically just read all those reviews were Letterboxd reviews in the beginning.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and all right.
It's basically
copy
just
that.
social media for movies. So if you like
Oh,
movies,
interesting.
it's actually really fun. Like, dude, there's some hilarious
Okay.
takes people have. It's really funny. I just scrolled it the other day. I was like, oh my god, this is the funniest thing I've ever done. So that's why it's in this now. Paul, Rotten Tomatoes, what do you got?
Rotten Tomatoes, I'm going to give this bad boy a 76.
Okay.
IMDb, I'm going to go with a 6.2. And Letterboxd, I'm going to give a 3.1.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
So you guys, I need you to know that this movie is universally beloved. Rotten Tomatoes is a 93 from critics, 94 from audience. IMDb is an 8.5. It's like in the top 100 ever. And Letterboxd is a 4.2, which is insanely high for Letterboxd.
So I'm really surprised. I always thought it was just like an outlier.
Like it was more of like a cult classic-y type movie.
That's how I've always felt about Back to the Future. I didn't realize it was that like publicly accepted.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, it made $400 million in the 90s.
Wow. Okay. I'm stupid.
I apologize. I did not know.
So people loved it. Evidently, we only kind of like it. So,
no! If you wanted my actual personal reviews,
we're gonna get your review at the end.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Vivian Ward. So, I know I wrote something in the thing, but Vivian Ward is Pretty Woman. Her walking down the street at the beginning of Pretty Woman is like universally recognized as like an iconic opening to a movie because you're like, okay, I know exactly what this is about.
Sure.
And she's just killing it, right? So like we go from one to Vivian, like how good is this opening? Like how much does it jazz you up or like invoke something? How good was the opening? Just in general, how'd you feel about it? Like we like Lord of the Rings, we gave a Vivian like the Fellowship because of the music came on that was through the whole series and all kind of stuff. It just set it up really well. How do you feel about the opening to this movie?
It's like I know exactly what's happening when you hear the clock ticking. Like I can pick that out of anything, but it's not until Huey Lewis comes on with The Power of Love. Like that's when it really is like that's the song that I'm like, oh, Back to the Future. Like you could like as soon as that comes on, I'm like, I love this song. It's Back to the Future.
Like when he's going to school, right? With the
as soon as he goes like, Doc, are you meaning to tell me it's 8:25? Yeah. You know, I'm late for school. You know, like that.
That's really good.
Yeah. And that's the part where it kicks in. But like the ticking and like them like talking about the Libyans and like all that stuff. Like that is if you have watched this movie like over and over, you know.
Yeah.
But I think like the iconic part is when he comes out of the driveway, he grabs onto the truck, Power of Love kicks on. Like it's very iconic. I think it holds. I wouldn't put it up with Pretty Woman, but like
it holds up.
I still think it still holds up pretty well.
Yeah, it's up there.
Like so scale of 1 to Vivian. What do you
like? I don't know. Like it's like a 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feels good.
Like
that's fair.
I feel like that song like that is like like everybody knows like Power of Love. Like oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Or like Back in Time.
I agree with you. I feel like it's tough because that part you're talking about that's so iconic is like what everyone thinks of as the opening scene.
It's like 10 minutes in.
I think a lot of people forget about the actual opening scene of like just the clocks ticking and then I can't remember the name of those machines, but like a very complex machine that does a very simple task.
It opens just the dog can just
exactly. Yeah.
I remember the dog food splatting.
Yeah. It opens up like a sequel. Because it's like you're supposed to already know that like, oh, Doc hasn't been around for a while and all this. Because like you just watch it and you're like, why the frick is there so much dog food? And you don't make that connection until like way later.
Like, I think they do that because they want you to go back and watch it again. You go back in time.
And asking questions right out the gate is probably a good way to get people to watch the whole movie. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I would give this, as far as an opening scene, a 6, just because I feel like I don't necessarily include the like I'm late for school part in it because it almost feels like a second scene, which I think is fair. It's just like a second scene. The first part though is just I don't know what's happening. Like if you're the first time ever watching it, you're like Libyans. I don't know why that matters. There's dog food. There's a lot of it. It's very gross. I don't really know what's going on. So it's kind of, I mean, 6 even feels like generous to me. That's
Yeah,
my
I'll
score.
I'll be honest. I forgot they even talked about the Libyans in that point, and then
Yeah.
I watched it again. I'm like, why are they talking about Libyans? And then the Libyans came out of nowhere later, and I'm like, oh yeah,
The
Yep.
Libyans wearing their Libyan garb in their car, presumably from
Yeah.
Libya. I think they drove
Just
here
the 2 of
from
them.
Libya.
Yep.
They just drove straight onto a container truck, stayed there, or container ship, stayed there for 6 months, got off of it. Now they're here.
Yep.
That's we'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, I gave it a 5. It's the same thing. It was like, but again, it's like it's almost like if this were SNL, right? The
Mhm.
opening would be the cold open, and then the part where Huey Lewis is playing is like the monologue, right? So like they're
Yeah.
both at the beginning, and it's
Mhm.
the beginning, but where's the start and end? So, but I agree. I think that the iconic scene of him like grabbing the truck on the skateboard, like him skateboarding is you know
Yes.
just linked to this movie. So as soon as you get that, it kind of sets the tone, and then from there on, it's just good old fashioned fun.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Good old fashioned fun. The Ents attack Isengard Award for best scenes because I named that because I love when the Ents get pissed off. Treebeard wants to run and he gets pissed at Saruman and then attacks. And I'm just thinking about it right now, and the hair on the back of my neck is raising. But for this movie, I mean, it doesn't need to be a battle, obviously. Favorite scenes. I got a couple. I will start if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Like the points that I remember the most, that I just are the iconic, similarly to the beginning for you, Tim, parts for me. The guitar solo, that's cool towards the end when he just goes
Oh,
nuts
yeah.
and shows them how to. Though when the guy's like, "Hey, listen to this," and just like puts the phone out, I'm like, he can't hear anything, man. Like he can't hear what's happening. Like no matter how much he's shredding, he's got
You
no
know
idea.
that new sound you're looking for?
Especially in 1956, like
Yeah.
like that was totally distorted.
Tin can, yeah.
Yeah, and like,
Sounds good.
let's we don't need Marty McFly to invent rock and roll either. Like let's just have him shred. We don't need to have the part where someone discovers him and then he invents an entire genre of music. Okay, which I loved it though. I loved how he got into it, and it was great. The when he returns, when he comes back, this is my favorite scene by far. And
Okay.
it's for a reason you probably don't really. I need you guys to go. I wanted to get a clip of this to show it to you, and I forgot, so I got to still send it to you. There is a point when he comes back and he's in front of the mall again, and he's like, "Oh, I'm here right before the event's gonna happen. Like I can
Mhm.
save Doc." And he's at the top, and he sees the Libyans driving in. And he's trying to get Doc's attention, but he can't, so he chose to run down the hill, and he just falls down the hill.
Just
You know what
rolls
I'm talking
downhill.
about?
Yeah.
That moment, I watched it 4 times. I'm like, what the hell was that? Like they threw him off. Like he jumped off and rolled.
He just rolls.
So that whole moment got me. But then when he comes around, then Doc goes down. He's like, Doc, Doc, and then he's like, oh, I ended up opening the letter. I remember as a kid being like, oh my god, thank God. Oh, thank God, I could not handle him dying again. So
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite. But like when it starts with him, Doc, and then just it like cuts really far off, and then a stuntman just takes a header into some bushes. Oh god, it was so funny.
I think it'd be more dramatic if you fall here, Marty. I think it's
They're like, hey, give us a nice little controlled fall, okay? And he's just like, do it, and it just
Banana peel.
oh my god. Okay. No, that's good. That's good. I have to piggyback off that. Yeah, I agree that the end part is really good. The singing at the enchantment under the sea dance. But I really like actually when the original band is up there and they're singing. Actually, yeah, it's after he like cuts his hand, but they're singing Earth Angel, I think.
Earth Angel.
I love that freaking
Yeah.
song, dude. I love it so much. So I love that one, and then I also love when he goes back to the future with Doc, and like they're up on the clock tower, and Doc's reaction to when he like he's up on top of the clock tower and connects the thing, and then like it pops out down below, and he's like, "Oh!" I freaking love it. I love that scene so. But I think that's actually informed a part of my personality. I think I scream like that. I think I legit internalized it. That's how I
Christopher
scream
Lloyd,
now.
man,
Oh my gosh.
he's a treasure.
Those are my 2 favorite scenes of the whole of I look forward to those scenes. Like watching, like, oh, I can't wait till that happens. Those are my two.
Also, when he's hanging up there, he's hanging on with one hand. This guy is
Like
80
a
years old,
boss.
and I'm like, this guy's got the upper body strength of a like. Also, it came unplugged so easily, but it's holding his entire body weight. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Should have got more cables.
Yeah.
Didn't really plan very well here.
Good.
But great scene.
Oh,
All right, so I think for me, like Johnny Be Good is most definitely like I think everybody loves that. So I have to say Johnny Be Good is definitely like the best scene out of all of them. The other scene that I really like, it's I guess it's twofold. I love the beginning scene of the interaction with Biff and Marty's dad, and then at the beginning, and then flipping that at the end to see like what happens after the fact.
Yeah.
When lives have changed and the timeline has completely splintered off into this new reality.
Yeah. Timeline.
I really like that. I really like that transition to see like how the bad guy became like he just got pooped on, and now he's just like like
neutered.
The McFly's won. Like it's really cool. So I love that come up.
That's cool.
Come up, yeah.
Yeah. Come on. I agree with that. It was very, now that I'm an older person.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you're like, yeah, F that guy. Like, yeah, shit on. But then I'm also like, but like everyone's lives are different. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, as a kid, you're like, oh, and also in that same scene, like inexplicably gets the truck he wanted. Like,
yeah, right.
It's just in the
garage.
Exact
same truck. Everything was exactly the same. Yeah.
Nothing else changed. Just his life. That's it.
Just his life. Like his brother's like, oh, I always wear a suit. I'm like, oh, cool. They're rich. They're rich now. They're rich because he punched him. Nice. He's confident now.
It's so much deeper than that, Trevor.
No, but it's funny because my wife said this is just the woke. I'm like, it was made in the 90s, okay? They're like, well, why you gotta flip it where you're just like, all right, Biff, don't be an idiot. Like, why can't you just? I'm like, because it wasn't like that, and now it is. It changed, and it's great. And I love it. And then I said,
good guys win.
And then I looked her in the eyes and said, fuck Biff. And then she was like, okay. Okay. Because seriously, though, Biff is, to this day, he is by far my least favorite villain.
He's an iconic villain.
Oh, he's iconic. He's such a douche.
Yes.
And I didn't know, like, the whole him getting punched at the end part, like, I'm like, oh, this is a reference to sexual assault. I really wanted him to get punched, and then he did, and it felt just much, much, much better. But Crispin Glover, man, we'll get into him in a moment because we're about to talk about favorite characters. Timmy, you start us off, Tim. Like, who are your favorite characters?
Christopher, I love Doc Brown. Like there's just no way around it. Like, just like Doc Brown he's just iconic. Like he's a fan. Like he really is. Like when you really like that comment that was like, this is a Rick and Morty ripoff. Like he is like family fun Rick. He's Rick without the alcoholism, and I love that. I think it's fantastic. I think that's why I love Rick and Morty so much.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the latent reason everyone loves that.
And then also Mayor Goldie Wilson, because I don't love him as the mayor, but I love him when he's working in the diner.
Yeah.
I will be the mayor. I love that.
I will be the mayor.
Mayor,
I'm gonna sweep up this town. It's just like, and it's another one of those things where it didn't age well.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a little too far.
Classic.
But I really love the come up of Goldie Wilson. I think that's another thing where he's like, I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna go to school. I'm taking night classes, and I'm gonna run this town. I'm gonna be the guy, and I love that for him. So I think that's like, if I had to pick two of them, it was Doc Brown and Goldie Wilson.
I like it. I like that. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. This is tough because obviously it's Doc Brown, but you can't just say Doc Brown every single time. Favorite actors or characters is actually going to be what's his name? Marty's dad. I'm blanking on his name immediately. George. Thank you. George McFly, for a couple reasons. One, because apparently everyone hated that actor. On
really?
The set. Yeah. Everyone did not like him because he overacted so hard. So when you were like, I can't believe this guy didn't win an Oscar, I'm like, I can't think I can. Believe it. He would want to do stuff, and they would have to do so many reshoots because they were like, "Stop doing that thing. You're doing a thing, and we want you to stop doing it." And he's like, "This is how I see the character," and they're like, "Knock it off." So knowing that with the hindsight, and then watching him act, he's just so much. He's just like, I don't think I could take that kind of rejection. Like, no one does that. No one moves their arms like that.
Density.
Yeah. My density. He's also
he's like the Joker.
Yeah.
He's a little creepy.
Yes, he's very like, and I'm like, no person really acts like that. So it's just more fun to watch him on screen. And then also, he's not a bad looking guy. Well, like what? Because he has his hair slicked back. Suddenly he's like hideous or like a nerd or like, I don't know. It's like that weird, like the attractive guy is also somehow like no one talks to him, I guess.
He was kind of socially inept. He didn't really know what was going on.
He sold that. He sold that real hard.
Right.
So George McFly is my favorite character to watch in all, other than Doc, obviously. Marty is actually a little bit of a whiny bitch. So I'm not a huge Marty McFly fan. A little bit of a bitch. So but I like George. George is fun. What about you, Trevor?
George. Well, we all like Doc because I just love Christopher Lloyd.
Of course.
Shout out to Einstein for being just the bestest dog ever.
Vaporize Einstein.
He literally sent you back in time, dude. And then you came back and you're just chilling. And honestly, that dog, the dog they actually had play Einstein, which I didn't actually, I looked for its name. I couldn't find it. Might have been named Einstein. I've seen lots of interviews about working with animals on like main characters and animals on movies and how it's a nightmare. And this dog looked like it did exactly everything they wanted. This dog,
he just like sat there for the most part.
Just sat there for the most part, and then they're like, "Hey, come over here," and he's like, "Okay," and then he just did, and it was over. And I was like, "This dog's probably awesome," and I love dogs. And then I would say, a last one. Yeah, again, I'm not with you, Marty. It's funny. We're literally we never like the main character, pretty much ever.
Yeah, almost ever. Yeah.
God, one of Biff's little friend, the short friend with the glasses. I don't even know if they say his name.
He's got that annoying laugh.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah,
and that's the only thing he does. I'm like, I like that guy.
Oh yeah,
I wanted to punch him, but like
that guy.
I noticed him, and so he gets points.
Isn't he one of the guys that like calls the black guys a slur? Does he call them like
probably yeah?
Yeah,
dude.
Sure.
And you know what happens?
We don't want to mess with no reefer addict or anything.
And then you know what happens?
Yeah. The reefer addict.
And then they get their ass kicked.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Also, past that Coca-Cola that definitely has cocaine in it, but I don't want to be no reefer addict.
Yeah, your high school kids are gonna knock shit to these grown ass men, and there's like twice as many of them as dude. What are you doing?
Yeah,
I really. They did. There was a lot of like questionable stuff, but it always automatically, like, immediately had consequences, though. So I think that's like,
yeah,
you know, like that's the point.
That's true.
You got to kind of have people be shitty things so that people need to be shitty sometimes in a movie so that they can get what's coming to them, and that's the story.
Oh yeah, I love when they all got out of the car at once. That was great. Like they all heard him.
Yeah. We're like,
great.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was my ends attacking Isengard. That's what that was.
They're so relaxed when they do it too.
Oh, because they got the reefer. That's why the hotboxing in there.
They were hotboxing that car. They definitely they did that up too. Like it just.
Oh yeah,
just really like comes out.
Sup? Yeah.
So freaking strong.
Oh, and real last one, another Jenny. She was I had a crush on her. So
Jenny,
his girlfriend, Jennifer.
Oh yeah,
oh.
Yeah, Jennifer.
Ooh,
yes.
Okay. Which version of Jennifer though? We're talking about. Ooh. Are we talking about Back to the Future 1 Jennifer? Are we talking about Back to the Future 2-3 Jennifer? Because Back to the Future 2-3 Jennifer is the same girlfriend to Daniel LaRusso in The Karate Kid, and she's also the CEO in The Boys. She's the one that feeds.
Oh no way! You're right.
Yeah, it is her. Yeah.
It's her. Yeah. So that's always fun whenever like you go and watch Back to the Future 2 and they redo that scene of Jennifer walking in at the end and like I forget what she says to Marty.
I have to watch it again. I don't even remember what happens.
Yeah, so so Back to the Future 2, it picks up right at the end of Back to the Future 1 when Jennifer walks up the driveway and Marty opens up the garage door and the black truck's sitting there. And then Doc comes and he's like, it's about your kids.
It's about your kids, Marty.
And then I think of the Family Guy skit
every time, dude, I always forget that.
It's your daughter.
What did she say? Like
he goes, it's about your daughter. She's married to a black guy. And they both go, we're okay with that. Like that's fine. Why aren't you okay with that, Doc? And they just like they start moving away from him, and he's just like, and like every time, I just every time.
So we're actually okay with it.
Yeah, we're actually fine with that, Doc. You know?
What's wrong with you?
Oh my gosh! Every time.
I forgot about that.
Anyways, yeah. So if you want like just fun Back to the Future trivia, go watch the end of Back to the Future 1, and then watch the beginning of Back to the Future 2. And Jennifer changes actresses.
Yeah,
I forgot the reason. There's a whole thing about it.
Sure.
But yeah, and like I grew up loving Karate Kid. Karate Kid is another just like movie that I just love. And she's in that. And then I saw her on The Boys. I'm like, oh no, my childhood. So
yeah,
came full circle.
The Boys got me with when Maybe became a bad guy. I from Arrested Development. I was like, oh, I don't like this at all. Okay, awesome. I love those. Sorry. Those are great. But now we got to get into quotes because I know that there's lots of quotes. I don't want to take them all, but I only have one. Okay, so I'm gonna go first one more time. And I gotta say it. Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads.
Flips the shades down.
What were they going? They're going to like 2015.
Yeah, they're going to 2015.
Yeah.
Hate to break it to you, Doc.
Dude. But if you really think about it, like in 1987 or whenever they made that movie, like them thinking about 2015, like it's wild.
We always have real rose-colored glasses for the future. Like I'm sure we'll be better.
Yeah, no, not a chance.
You're driving a Honda Accord, sir.
Yeah. If you want to watch, if you want to see something that's really creepy, go watch what's the Danger Will Robinson? What's the movie? Lost in Space.
Yes.
Watch the 1996 version or 1997 version of Lost in Space, and they go to like 2020 something, and it's like everything is like Star Trek. You know, it's like the bad guys look like they're the Borg, and it's like everything's in space, and like they've messed up the planet. They have to go find a new Earth to inhabit. If you've watched Lost in Space, you know this, right?
That part's real.
It's crazy to see like what they thought the future was going to look like, even in like that short amount of time of what was considered like sci-fi. We haven't progressed at all, and it's honestly kind of sad,
dude. Not to get you off track. 100%. My favorite quote of like that whole like it's the future is from the Transformers movie, the animated one from the 80s. When the narrator's like, the year is 2012 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like he says the year is 2005. And I'm like,
if you look at technology progression from like the 40s, like look at World War II, right?
Yeah.
And then look at where we were in the 80s. Like we had computers, we knew of like microchips, like we had all of these things. So we just assumed that it was going to exponentially curve on the of the progression of technology, and it was more like exponential and then flatline. Like we kind of like, and it's like had like small baby steps, but yeah, I mean, like you could totally understand why the producers for Back to the Future 2 are like flying cars. Of course, it'd be flying cars. Why wouldn't there be holograms? You know, like all of these things. Like it totally makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird. It depends on the way you look at that too, because it's hilarious. People who are like in the science side of things would say, oh, we are exponentially growing in terms of technology there. But in terms of consumer products,
exactly. Like being able to make your cars fly and all that stuff.
Stuff like that, like we hit some roadblocks we had no idea were going to exist that are in the way. But what about quotes, guys? What are your favorite quotes?
Derail, my bad.
I have mine. If you, I can go. I'll go. Yeah. I go with mine. So my one is actually like a whole little scene, but my favorite part is just because it has nostalgia attached to it. But my favorite line is Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, the actor,
yeah.
Who's his vice president? Jerry Lewis?
Yeah. so good. So that's something about that always makes me laugh. Like it just again, it's freaking Doc's response. Like it's just his inflection. It's everything about his character. It's just so funny. And
when he
then
opens the door and he's got the freaking mind reading machine. He's like
back on his head.
Don't tell me.
It doesn't work.
Come in. Do you know what this means?
It means it doesn't work.
So I do love that scene, but the Ronald Reagan part always gets me. But then at the very end, for some reason, like his like a nostalgia is when Marty McFly is like getting exasperated. He's like, "You came up with the flux capacitor, which is what makes time travel possible." And like he like turns around, and then Doc whips open the door, and his eyes are all huge. So it's that physical comedy. But then it's also the fact that I remember every single time I watch this movie, and it might be because my dad recorded it on VHS from the television. There's always a commercial at the end of that scene.
Yep.
Every time. There's always it always fades to like a black. It's like on TNT next week, and then it goes through. But yeah. Anyway, that's my favorite quote.
Oh my god, who the hell's John F. Kennedy? You know, it's like the entire thing.
Yeah.
So
Jerry
good.
Lewis. Jane Wyman is the first lady. So good.
I think like that entire part is great because one of my favorite lines is he goes, "What the hell's a gigawatt?" That was really really good. God, there's so many and just like really like quotable lines. What was the other one that
if my
I really
calculations
liked?
are correct, once you get to 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some shit.
See some serious shit.
You're gonna see some shit. I never caught that as a kid because again, I think my dad recorded it from TV, so I never actually saw like a theatrical version.
You're going to see some
muted.
serious stuff.
Some guys think stuff.
The other like really fun line is when Marty visits his dad as Darth Vader.
Yes.
He's like, "I am Darth Vader. I've come from the planet Vulcan." You know, like that entire thing where he just like mixes up a bunch of sci-fi and tries to sell it to his dad.
Yes.
Oh, that was really good. I like that part too.
Planet Vulcan.
Stupid.
I remember hearing that and thinking, "There's so many pissed off people right now."
Literally the point. They got you.
They did. They got me.
What about how about some recasts? We don't have to do all of them. I have a couple. But
I have some.
You have some? Paul's got some. This is like my
some.
favorite. This is my category.
I never have
love
some.
This.
Okay.
And just, you can pick any actor from any period. Honestly, we used to be like from the same period, but like, and every movie was from the 90s. We're like, who the hell was acting in the 90s? So
yeah, exactly.
So then we just like started anyone we liked or whatever. So
Perfect. Okay.
Marty McFly, I have
Okay.
Dave Franco.
Sure.
Huh.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I can see that.
He could pull it off, right? And then for Doc, just because I got a little bit of crazy scientist a little bit, but this was tough for me. I think Christoph Waltz would do a good job.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, Christoph Waltz is always in our recast.
Because he's a great actor, but when he is in Inglourious Bastards and he does the that's a bingo. Like he does like weird, you remember that line?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
When he does the laugh and like goes into it, like he can play crazy person pretty well. He can't do it as good as nobody's Christopher Lloyd, right?
No.
But Christoph Waltz, I think like I don't know, it's someone that I adjacent to play those roles, but like if anyone's like, hey, could play a mad scientist, I can't think of anyone who's even close to Lloyd. Oh, you said you had some
just those two? Oh wow.
Yeah, I just have two.
Man.
I mean,
Looks like Paul showed
mom, dad, I kind of just like want to let them lie.
Hey,
Mm.
here.
That's fair.
All right. I'm gonna go through these kind of quick. All right. Marty McFly, Tom Holland.
Oh man.
Easy recast. Get shit on.
Yes. No, but because you're right, because he's the
Yeah, he could
perfect
crush
high
it.
schooler.
Yeah.
He's just the perfect high schooler
Just
and would
forever.
totally crush it. Could you imagine him just jamming out a Johnny Be Good in that in that tweed suit? Oh my god.
Come on.
And he can do acrobatics and stuff like sliding across the.
Yeah, he can.
He
He's
can
freaking
do everything they
Spider-Man.
need him to do in the movie. Yeah. Oh my god, he's perfect.
Friggin' Tom Holland.
I'm pissed now.
All right. You ready for the next?
Yeah,
Doc
shoot.
Emmett Brown. Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
Come on.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
He'd be
Yes.
hilarious.
Oh,
I
He
love
would be
some
funny.
Jeff Goldblum. I think it'd be funny. He's no Doc.
According to my calculations,
Calculations.
Yeah, it'd be
you're gonna
great.
see some serious shit.
And then Lorraine, I'd have, or Marty's mom, Emma Stone.
Ah,
ooh, I like
she'd
that.
do a good job with that too.
Yeah, but she'd be good at that. George McFly, a little tough, but I'm gonna say either Michael Cera or Jesse Eisenberg.
So the
One of
same
those
person.
two. Yeah. So basically, one of those two.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could do that. I don't know if they could do Chris McClure. I don't think anyone could do that. But
No.
we don't actually. But do we want that? You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
Awkward. Sarah
Yes.
could do a good job. I think so.
And then for Biff, little tough on Biff because it kind of falls off. I go from strong to like a little bit weaker here, but I'm thinking like very young Dave Bautista. I think that'd be fun.
He's
to
dumb.
watch him be like stupid and mean and all that.
It's hard to pick someone who's like a dumb but also mean, like not dumb and endearing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like Dave could be mean and dumb.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, it's part of those first two though. Part of those first two. That's
John Cena play Biff.
John Cena,
I like him
way
too much.
Too jacked to play Biff.
Way too big. Yeah, very, very large.
Like Dave Bautista's pushing it already.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Huge person. Anyway, do you have any, Tim?
Okay, so I had to pivot real quick for someone else, but I also had someone else in mind. So Taron Egerton.
Ooh.
I think he would he could be really fun as Marty. I think he portrays a younger like individual very, very well. Like he was great in Kingsman. He is English. At least I think he's English. Is he? Well, Tom Holland does a great job. I mean, like I don't know if I've ever heard Taron without an accent. So
he does play. He plays someone who has an American accent. I think he does a pretty good job. Oh, he in Tetris. Tetris, he's an American accent. Yeah.
Okay.
It's good, and he does a good job.
Doc Brown. This one might be a little weird, but I think it'd be really funny because like I can see it in my head. I can like imagine this person taking on the role Paul Giamatti as Doc Brown.
Oh,
I think it'd be really funny. Just for some reason, I think he could nail it.
He'd be really good.
He's got this fire to him that's always really fun. I've always enjoyed Paul Giamatti in like shows and in movies. So like I think that could work out really well.
Have you seen Holdovers?
No.
Watch it. It's his best movie. Yeah, he's great.
I mean, he got the best actor nomination for that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Paul Giamatti like pieces of content was Madison. He's James Madison.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so it's like I like American history. So like, but that was like he did that. It was very well done. So like this was like I was kind of like just like looking around to see like who could be like a good like other replacements. The only other person I could think of if we were to do cast change, if we were to change Marty's mom to Bryce Dallas Howard. Like that's the only other person that could be like she could probably crush it as Lorraine. Because like I could definitely see like an old Bryce Dallas Howard. But also like Bryce Dallas Howard from like Jurassic Park or from other movies that she's done.
Yeah,
like,
and she also has kind of like a 50s vibe. Like
she does, right? It's the hair.
Yeah,
it's there.
In the 50s.
And so like I think she could be a great Lorraine. And that's it.
What a babe. Nice.
Those were good.
Yeah.
That might have been our strongest. I was weakest by far.
You made me pivot real quick.
You crushed it. Holy shit.
Love that we both pick redheads though for Lorraine. That's great.
Yeah.
That's funny. We have a type. All right. I'm just kidding. Who would I want my super hot mom to be?
Who would I want to kiss me as a young version of her? Because remember, that happened in this movie, guys. It actually was I had forgot how big of a part of the story that was. I was like, oh, this is like the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't like this. Ooh.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable.
Also, why are you at dinner? Anyway, Jason or kind of similarly to the recasting, we like to talk about who peaked because some people did this movie and then disappeared off the face of the planet. Biff. And then some people like this was on their way up. I would say Honestly, though, this might have been the peak for several. Though Michael J. Fox made other movies in this series after this series. What else was he in after this?
Oh boy,
He was
I
in
think
two
he was
shows.
Teen Wolf before this.
He was Teen Wolf before, but nothing was as big as Back to the Future.
I think he started doing the animated stuff.
Yeah,
I think he started voicing, and I wonder if it was because of his is it Parkinson's?
Yeah, it probably started.
And I think the Parkinson's started to play into a lot of why he wasn't doing any like visual stuff and why he voiced a lot of things, because he was in Atlantis. He was Stuart Little. Apparently, I didn't even know they did 3 Stuart Littles. There are 3 Stuart Littles.
Really?
It must be really good.
Wow.
So he also just has like that iconic voice, right?
Yes, he does.
But I mean, he did some things
for a bit too.
The Michael J. Fox show. Yeah, I even forgot that was a thing. So he did a couple things. Spin City, I remember that. I remember my mom watching a lot of Spin City.
Oh,
well, that was in '96, and that had a decent cast, right?
Yeah, no, that was a pretty popular show for a while.
Charlie Sheen was in that.
Yeah,
Heather something.
It went on from '96 to 2002.
Oh wow, 6 years is a long time for a show to go. That's
a long time.
So it's probably between that and this. But then again, there's the 3 movies. He was just the star. I'd say this is his peak. What about? What do we think of Crispin Glover? What else? Because Crispin Glover's in other things. Can't name anything.
Crispin Glover is George McFly. I mean, this is his peak, 100%.
This is his peak. Yeah. I even on the list I have Biff because I don't even have the guy's real name. Yeah. Yeah, this is it.
And there's no one really that I'm like, oh yeah, this is like I remember that person. Like even the person who plays Jennifer in the first one, Claudia Wells. Like I don't know her from anything. Apparently, she was in a few things, but like nothing big. Like she was like just like small things. I can't really think of anybody.
Yeah. Oh well, Jennifer. She was also like a model at the time too. So she was like,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, she was like known in pop culture a lot more. That's why she didn't have a ton of lines. I don't think she was an actress yet, really. What about Christopher Lloyd? Because he's got some stuff. Like he's in Taxi. He's in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He's in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
God, he was great in Who Frames Roger Rabbit.
But was that his best stuff though?
But he's Uncle Fester in the Addams Family, bro.
Oh, true. He is Uncle Fester, yeah.
And that's probably what I know. I always remember him from that. Like, I'm like, but that was even before. So this was even, honestly, this is the end because all these movies he was in were before that. So he was towards the end of his career there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He's not a young man.
It definitely looks like he kind of just like rode on the success of Back to the Future and kind of just like dabbled here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also had some other. He also had like those big things like Who Frames Roger Rabbit was like. I mean, he's the judge.
Yeah,
he's in a lot of that movie. And then he just kind of is just sprinkled in.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's not like he's known as Doc Brown. Like
I think it's
that
is
the association.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You know, as much as I love him and his character and his acting, that's him.
Yeah,
iconic.
You know what I mean?
Iconic.
What about Leah Thompson? Are we even going to talk about Leah Thompson? We got
to talk about Leah Thompson too. I mean, honestly, I'm blanking. Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
She. What was she in?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you. She peaked.
Okay. What else was she in?
Howard the Duck.
Nope.
A year later.
The cartoon.
All the Right Moves. Yeah, the cartoon. All the Right Moves. Dennis the Menace, apparently.
Oh, the live action one?
Live action.
Was she the mom?
I don't know. Let's see. She was, what year was Alice Mitchell, whoever that character was. Dennis Mitchell. Yeah, I think that was the mom.
Yeah, that was the mom. Oh, no shit. That's cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Little Rascals. She was in.
She was in Little Rascals.
It was Little Rascals in 1994.
Who was she in Little Rascals?
Beverly Hillbillies.
I think she's the mom on that too.
Another mom.
She wasn't the main character. Doesn't look like. No, she was in that. Yeah, but
so she peaked.
Still, she peaked.
So pretty much everyone peaked in this movie.
She was in this movie with Nicolas Cage called Left Behind that has a 3.1 rating on IMDb.
Really?
Ooh.
Yep. Yeah, yikes. Yeah,
A Nick Cage movie I've never heard of. That's not good.
Yeah.
Oh, she was in Jaws 3D. So
Ooh.
Wait,
yeah,
hold on. So did they remake Jaws for 3D, or is
I
it a
think so.
brand new movie that was like?
I think it's Jaws. It says Jaws 3/D
Hmm,
in 1983. So actually before Back to the Future.
interesting.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Peak.
Yeah,
Everyone
no.
peaked, dude.
Everyone peaked.
I
Everyone
think that's
peaked in this
I think
movie.
that's fair. Yeah, I think that's
It's
fair to
so
say.
sad.
Yeah, well, at least we got at least they got this. You know, some people don't have peaks at all. So
True.
good for them. All right, what about the final rating, guys? What would you give it out of 10? Upon rewatch, how are you feeling about it? Tim, lead us off here. This is your movie. I want to know.
Yeah,
I know how
I
you
mean,
feel
like
about it.
this movie for me is like a 9 out of 10. Like I just like this is my comfort movie. Like
Comfort movie.
like this is the movie that when I'm traveling, like I'm probably playing it to go to sleep. Like it is
Oh,
just
wow.
like it has been this movie that has been like just something that I always go back to, and I've been watching this movie since I was a kid. I know this movie by heart. Like it's just one of those movies that I just absolutely love. So yeah, it's like I'm not gonna give it a perfect 10 because like going back and watching, I'm like, oh, they didn't age well, or they
Yeah.
probably could have done that differently. But just because of just like how iconic it is, I grew up. My mom would take us to Universal Studios, and
Okay.
so like going on like the Back to the Future ride,
Mhm.
like was also like big for me. Like that was really cool because it was like one of those rides that I could directly associate with a movie that I really enjoyed. Like I didn't grow up watching Jaws. Like the Jaws ride, like wasn't fun for me. Like
No.
the King Kong ride originally, like that was like I never watched like King Kong. So like I knew the big gorilla that was like terrorizing New York City, but that was
Mhm.
it. But Back to the Future for me was like that one movie that was like super special for that. So
Nice.
a lot of it's nostalgia. That's
Yeah.
really what it comes down
Yeah,
to.
I mean that's valid. That's part of it. Like that's why we like
Yep.
movies.
That's why
Like,
we're doing
no
this thing.
movie is perfectly
Mhm.
made. Maybe Dune 2, but everything else,
I still
Yeah.
haven't seen it yet. I am so excited to watch
do
it.
it.
My gosh.
Do it somewhere
Oh,
loud.
it's so freaking good.
Yeah, somewhere loud.
Do you mind, Trevor, if I
Go
go?
for it. Yeah.
All right.
I'll take us to the
I'm gonna say my score, my nostalgia score, thinking about this movie is probably 9 out of 10. Even as a kid, this movie was so iconic, so cool. Everything about it was amazing, from the skateboarding to the sneakers he wore, the life vest. He was a sailor that he wore. The music. I mean, I didn't want Johnny Be Good to stop. I actually get a little bit annoyed when he kind of goes on his guitar solo because I'm like, bro, you were killing it. Let's keep the song going. Like, this
Yeah.
is so fun. Everything about it is just so iconic. Leah Thompson couldn't be hornier in this movie. I mean,
Yeah.
just
Oh my
I
God.
mean, my goodness.
So fair on my hope chest.
Like, just absolute.
So
I
creepy.
mean, she is at a dinner table with her family and just
She's just groping this boy she
She's-
just met.
she's
Yeah, we
going
were about to
Isla
have Wedding
Fisher
Crashers all
in
of a
Wedding
sudden.
Crashers. Yeah, just under the table. Just,
Feels so good
holy
looking.
shirts and pants.
He
Going
can
nuts
stay
on him.
in my room.
Yeah.
Like she's just
Don't
looking
forget,
to
it's his
fuck.
mom.
she doesn't care. Yeah, but she says it in front of her parents. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, you're
I
supposed
know.
to be like,
oh my
super
god,
chaste.
this is the age of I Love Lucy beds, and she's just like, you can come up with me.
Looking
Shoot
to
your shot.
bang. So just like everything about it's so iconic. So it's a 9 to 10. But on rewatch, knowing what I know now, and I actually recommend this to Tim because I know you love this movie so much. I don't know if you have seen it, but on Netflix they have a series called The Movies That Made Us.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, they have a Back to the Future episode. It's about an hour long, and it goes into the behind the scenes and making of the movie. It is fascinating.
Cool.
It's so cool. Like, they basically shot most of the movie. They almost did an Emperor's New Groove, and then they recast the main character into Michael J. Fox. They had a completely different guy
Oh, I didn't know that.
for a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
the movie. Yeah,
Wow.
and they recast him. Michael J. Fox actually went from filming Family Ties in the day, and then would come shoot this movie at night.
Holy crap.
And it was all on one set. Like, even the chase scene. Sorry, I'm getting a little too into even the chase scene.
No, I love this.
With like when Biff is chasing him in the car and he's got the
Yeah,
skateboard
yeah.
and whatever.
Uh-huh.
They just go in a big circle.
And
Like,
yeah,
it's just
around
it's just
the
left
square.
turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how big the set is. Like, that's it. That's all they can do. So
That's
watching
crazy.
that is just, it's fascinating. But I still love the movie. I think it's fantastic. And so Yeah, I can't remember what I just said if I did give it a second score, but it's probably like it's still high. It's like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
It barely dropped.
I'm sitting at 8.5 because the same thing happened. Like, I remember 9. I just the Spielbergian, like we did the Goonies already on the
Oh, okay.
yeah. So like I love the Goonies growing up, but that was
Mhm.
whole. I think I just have a huge crush on Sean Astin now. He's like my
That's fair.
favorite.
Yes.
And so the Goonies was my family's version. So that's the
Yeah.
movie we would always rewatch. My brothers and sisters are like my brother's the closest to me in age. He's 6 years older. So like they're just what they liked is what I liked. Even though
Yeah.
I was 6 when that movie came out, they were all like 15. It was like awesome for them, and they loved Corey Feldman for some reason because he was really funny.
Yeah.
All right, hey, before I let you guys go and we take off here, I want to hit a couple Easter eggs because Paul hit them. There's one that's actually good, and then one is I don't know why that's on the list. That's stupid. So first one, the Twins Pine Mall becomes the Lone Pine Mall after Marty's
Yeah.
first trip. That's cool because he actually knocks over one of the 2 pines, which I had to look for. I was like, oh yeah, he does.
My
Yes.
pine.
Yeah.
My pine.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is awesome. And
Killed
then
my pine.
like those like little details like that just make movies incredible, and they're so easy to do. People need to do
Mhm.
that more.
Yeah.
Because I feel like stuff's so on the nose lately. But the last one on this list is Doc Brown's dog Einstein is named after Albert Einstein, reflecting Doc's scientific interest. No shit. No shit, internet. Like you gave me all this cool stuff, and then this dumbass one at the bottom.
Good job, Chat
Wow,
GPT.
you figured it out, guys. You figured it out. Wow. No, this was actually a list. Like someone, maybe someone. It was a blog post, but someone probably actually used ChatGPT to write it. So you're probably right. Because I've tried to stay away from that, at least for these lists, because sometimes they say stuff.
I
that's
like
not
this
true.
one that is a poster of Marty's room, hints at his aspirations and foreshadows his adventures. So I wonder if they have all 3 of them there, or because like it's also really interesting too. If you watch the second movie and at the end of the second movie, they actually tease the third movie. They shot 2 and 3 like at the same time. But it's weird though because one, they don't do that. They don't tease the second movie at the end of the first one. And so I thought that was really interesting. So I wonder if like if there's like a Western poster like in his room to like foreshadow like the third movie.
Yeah.
So that's really, really interesting. Cause like I feel I wasn't sure. I've always wondered, did they know this movie was going to be a hit before they made it?
Probably not.
Or because of the time difference and like they all get older, but they go into they Lord of the Rings it with 2 and 3 to keep it consistent. But there's a decent chunk of time you can tell like Michael J. Fox definitely looks older than he did at the end of 1 with the beginning of 2.
Sure.
So like that's a very interesting Easter egg. Now I'm gonna have to go back and look at Marty's room.
I highly doubt they knew before. It just wasn't something they counted on. That like especially for 3 movies. Maybe but they did. It was a very ambiguous end. Like that could have been anything, right? That they could be going anywhere and anything could be happening in the future. And they could be going there for any reason. And that was they left it super open ended for that reason. But they were like, let's see how this does. And it's Spielberg's name. It's like presented by Steven Spielberg. So like they knew people were gonna give it a shot, right?
Yeah.
So and they freaking crushed it, man. I love how much it's so interesting to find out all the ways that Spielberg was involved with so many of the movies that he didn't direct. He was just kind of like hanging out, and it was like one of his friends was directing it, and he just like helped a little bit, and you can see his little touches, and I just like it's iconic to our childhoods. His touch. And so I always love his movies, even his recent ones. I even like Super 8, man. I like all his movies. Anyway, that concludes episode. What is it, Paul? What episode is it?
619.
It's 19, episode 19 of the Making an X podcast, guys. Thank you, Darkness429, aka Tim, for being here with us and being patient with us and letting us reschedule this 15 times. We appreciate it.
Thanks for wanting to talk about like my favorite movie ever.
Oh my God, we loved it. It was so fun. And by the way, when Jen wasn't on the pod last time, she's the one who chose Emperor's New Groove too. So she said that truck in motion. So I think we're gonna have some more stuff that you just added. That was an awesome episode. We really enjoyed it. And guys, we will see you next time on the pod. Make sure wherever you're listening, 5-star reviews, comments, YouTube, Spotify, literally anywhere that you listen to podcasts, you can listen to our show. And make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss any of the new episodes. We will see you next time for a new movie, which we do not know what it is yet. on the Making an Action podcast. See you next time. Bye-bye.